Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today 2 transfer updates and 1 injury update. So let's do it. But before we go any further, please remember to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to help support the channel grow, and I would forever appreciate it if you guys did help do that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, more Daizen Maeda news. I'm sure everyone is so sick of it because... What? I'm sure everyone is so sick of it because he has been the centre of all of Celtic's news for the past few days, and he will continue to be the centre of all of Celtic's news until the deal is confirmed by the club. But obviously we actually have to cover what this new news is, because it's huge. It's the biggest update since his first links, and it's all I've ever wanted to hear since the links were first made between him and Celtic. So, without further ado, a deal has been agreed between Celtic and Ange Postecoglou's former team, Yokohama F. Marinos, for Daizen Maeda. Finally, he is going to be a Celtic player. But what exactly is this deal? Well, it has been reported by multiple Japanese media outlets that the two clubs have agreed upon a short-term loan deal with the option to buy at the end of the season for £1.68 million. And you know, when I saw that deal for the first time, I woke up this morning, saw it on my Instagram feed, I just laughed. And because that is an absolute steal. It is an absolute steal for Daizen Maeda, £1.68 million. I know he's only valued at like 1.1 million euros, but he is worth so much more than what Transfer Market says he is. And look, it is highway robbery. There's no other way to put it. It is 100% highway robbery, and I am loving it. I have no doubt in my mind he will come and he will absolutely tear up the Scottish Premiership. He is as fast as lightning, he is agile as a cheetah, and he is such a quality finisher. You know, he has the capability of playing left wing, striker, a false 9 even. Maeda, he is such a crucial signing. Defensively, he can press so well, he tracks back so very well, and he's worked under Ange before. It all adds up. He knows what is expected of him when playing for Ange. He knows the system Ange likes to play. It's a match made in heaven. And look, he will walk into Celtic starting front three. I think a fully fit front three would consist of Daizen Maeda on the left-hand side, Kyogo through the middle, and then they play Jota on the right-hand side. That's what I see as a fully fit Celtic starting 11. That's what I think it would look like, and I think it would be deadly. I literally think I don't see how Celtic wouldn't be able to score goals in a game with that front three. That is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Legitimately, I'm so excited for this signing. I haven't been this excited for a Celtic transfer in my whole time of, being up to date with the Celtic transfers, He is a special, special talent, and he will show the whole fan base and the rest of the league what he is capable of, and he will, by the end of his loan deal, I could almost guarantee you guys, you will all believe £1.68 million is an absolute bargain and is highway robbery. But moving on, and we have some news regarding Hans Wolf and his, deal to Celtic. Wolf, 22-year-old Austrian cam, who we covered in this video. You can check that out. Very good video. I did a lot of research on that, but there were rumors that he wanted out of the club, and there were some rumors that other clubs were interested in him, not just Celtic. But new news has came out today. Well, a report has came out from Bild, a German media outlet, that Wolf wants to leave. The report saying he no longer has any prospects at the club. I don't know why I did that in quotations. It's not like it's sarcastic, but it's actually what he said. Anyways, not only that, however, club sporting director Max Ebel, I hope I've pronounced that right, he admitted in an interview that there will be a lot of personnel changes in January, and a lot of reports have came out, not specifically naming players, but naming that a whole host of Borussia Mönchengladbach players want out of the club. They sit 2 points off the relegation zone. They are in the mud right now, and I don't think any player would want to be at a club 2 points off relegation. So he wants out. the club want him out, and it's an equation that can only equate to one thing, and that is Hans Wolf playing for a club that isn't Borussia Mönchengladbach by the end of January. And, you know, the other clubs interested are Trabzonspor, I believe I said that right, and Rapid Vienna. So a Turkish club and an Austrian club. Rapid Vienna is obviously an Austrian club, the home country of Hans Wolf, so they get a bit of brownie points there, I guess you could say. But Wolf is someone Celtic could really, really do with. You know, Tom Rogic, he has been incredible. Tom Rogic has been so incredible. His form has been revolutionary, wizardry. But the issue with Tom Rogic is that he is one injury away from a crisis, from a Celtic crisis. Because right now, everything going forward, everything that Celtic do in an attacking sense stems from Tom Rogic. Without a doubt. The only time Celtic can attack when it doesn't come from Tom Rogic is if Kyogo's pressed and it falls to one of the wingers. However, regardless, we need a suitable backup for Tom Rogic. Someone who can do the job of Tom when he isn't there, when he has to rest, when he has to come off, when he's injured, that whatnot, you know? And we need to be prepared for that because, as we've seen in the past, Tom Rogic is very injury prone. He's been playing so many more minutes of football this season, and it's a disaster waiting to happen if he gets injured. And so we need that viable replacement. Someone who could do the job of Tom, maybe not be Tom, but obviously no one can be Tom. He is the Wizard of Oz. However, someone who could fill in that void. But look, when you look at Wolf, he can suitably fill that void. I think don't bring him in permanently because he is still young. You know, he is still learning his trade. He isn't, you know, he's got a lot of raw talent still, but he isn't, you know, anything, I would say, polished right now. So I'd say bring him in on a 6-month loan, option to buy. It sounds good to me. And I think right there, you've got a great deal on your hands. I think he's tall, he's fast, he's got a great shot on him, he's very skillful. I think it's a perfect deal. If Celtic can get it done, I would be all for it. You know, personally, I would like to see the Japanese Donnies come in more. However, we do need that replacement for Tom Rogic, without a doubt. And Hans Wolf, he seems like the best bet that we've been linked to in recent times. But into the final piece of news for today, and it is a positive ending to what has been an absolutely horror year for Christopher Jullien. Ange has actually given a timeline to Jullien's return, and it is sooner than a lot of people would have expected. You know, we've been in the dark recently. We've seen photos of him in training here and there, not consistent, and a lot of people have been really, you know, we've been left in the dark as to whether he will be returning soon or as to whether he will be here in a few months. But Ange has finally given us the light, and the light is that after all the setbacks, after all the injuries, after all the rehab, after all the surgeries, he is going to return to first team training during this winter break and a return to the playing field much shortly after. And look, Ange said it, and I 100% agree with him. Having Jullien return is like a new signing. It's the same situation with Kyogo in that both these players have not played for the club for so long that, and with this team, that they're basically new signings and they're new players Ange can work with. And look, I understand that a lot of fans are not fans of Christopher Jullien. A lot of people do not rate him. Personally, just from my sense, I am a big fan of him. I really, really love seeing Jullien play for Celtic. I think he walks back into the Celtic team without a doubt once he gets fully fit. I think he replaces Starfelt without a doubt. You know, he brings experience. He brings composure. He's a very, very commanding centre-back. He reeks of confidence. He's got self-belief. And it's those are two things that I think Starfelt really lacks in, you know, self-confidence and self-belief. Also, and composure. I think Starfelt lacks a lot of composure. However, back to Jullien, another asset that he brings to this team is height. His height is second to none. He's on the taller side of 6'4". You know, we've seen how commanding he can be in the box from set pieces, both attackingly and defensively. And look, it's another piece of great positive news coming out of Celtic. And a great piece of news for Jullien because, like I said earlier, all the injuries, all the setbacks, they've put him back so far, and we've kind of forgot what it's like to have him in. But I think he walks back into the Celtic team, and I think he improves us so much. I tell you what, I can see him starting in the Glasgow derby. I can see his grand return being in that Glasgow derby. I think he might play a few minutes beforehand, but I think that's the grand return. The last time Celtic beat Rangers was thanks to a Christopher Jullien goal, a 1-0 win in that League Cup final. I can see that being his grand return, and I can see it being hyped up a lot. I'm excited for it. If you can't tell, I'm very excited for Jullien's return. Look, I'm very excited about a lot of things going on at Celtic. You know, Daizen Maeda, all the other Japanese players, all the players returning from injury. Things at Celtic are looking positive. Things are on the up, and after such a horror start of the season, start of the year, this season bumps all the way. I think things are starting to look positive, and I'm jumping on it 100%. I'm loving it. Everything's looking good, and yeah, things are on the up for Celtic. And if we can have a very, very strong January transfer window and have all our players return from injury, we're looking at a squad that has a starting 11 that is pure filth, and having depth that is pure filth, That's how I view it. But that is all from me. So leave in the comments below, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to see Daizen Maeda in the green and white? For me, it's a 10 without a doubt. But remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, hail, hail.